Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so potential buyers have more information about the seller and the business to help them make a buying decision. Before we dive in, let's go over a brief summary of this business. It's a 3-site package, which is a digital product affiliate, Amazon Associates, and display advertising business created in December of 2012 in the news and education, outdoors, and survival and security niches. The average monthly revenue for the business is $16,405 and makes an average of $11,768 per month in net profit. The assets included in the sale are a primary domain, including all site content and files, 2 additional domains, including all content and files for the sites, 301 redirect, freelancer contracts, WooCommerce store, social media accounts, which include Pinterest and Facebook, an email list of around 27,000 subscribers stored in Active Campaign. And just as a disclaimer, the buyer will be required to have a legal entity in the country where the Stripe account is located to purchase the business. So for everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/place and search for listing 62993 to learn more about the business, or you can unlock this listing to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. So that's a brief overview of the business for sale. Let's hear from the seller with me today. So welcome to the show, Daisy. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm really happy to be here.
I'm happy that you're here as well. And I'm looking forward to learning more about you and your business. So to start us off, can you tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses?
Certainly. I used to be a freelance writer, and I worked for other websites in related industries to the one that my own business is in. And I learned a lot from the people for whom I work. I had a mentor at one website who gave me a full-time job for a period of time. And he's the person who encouraged me to start my own website.
That's pretty awesome that you had a mentor who kind of like a mentorship / full-time job who encouraged you to start a business that was very similar to the one that you were working in.
Yes, he taught me absolutely everything I knew when I started out. And then you just kind of add on as you learn, as you build your business. And he also offered me tech support and various bits of help, just getting things off the ground back in the day.
Yeah, that's amazing. So it's certainly been a journey and you've seen some considerable success with this business. So why are you deciding to sell the business now instead of keeping it and growing it?
It has thousands of articles on it, and I've spent the past decade building it. And things are on a pretty even keel now, and I'm sort of itching for some new challenges. So I have plans to write fiction, to continue publishing physical books, and to build a website in a different niche. So I'm really excited to get started on some new things and hand this over to somebody else who will take good care of it.
Yeah, that's great. So I hear that quite consistently with business owners that they want to create that next thing. And I think that's a shared trait with a lot of business owners. And that's the thing that brought them to the table to begin with, to where they're selling their business. But the fact that they do like the building process and creating things, that's what naturally means that they're ready to move on. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's very true. I know several other people who've done the exact same thing. It's just the entrepreneurial spirit, I think.
Yep, definitely. As mentioned before, you've seen some considerable success with this business. So can you tell me a little bit about what you learned from building this that worked, that you feel like contributed to that success?
Yeah, I have learned that the difference between a successful site and a so-so site is the people. So not only was my own story a huge part of the origination of the website, but the reader's stories are as well. We have a really thriving comment section, and many of the people there have been with me from the very beginning, back 2013, 2014. And it's become a community. And that's something really special. Now that I've stepped back from writing regularly, I've passed that torch to the writers that we have on staff now. And my readers welcomed them with open arms. It's such a good group of readers and customers.
That's really great to hear. I mean, it makes your site unique, your sites unique because you have like your tribe. Businesses talk about the tribe and bringing together people who will be repeat customers. But also, I think you made the right move in bringing other people on board where it wasn't completely dependent on just you existing in the business. Because I know that's a question for some maybe personality based businesses that buyers have. Like, will this business continue to do well once the original seller leaves? And it sounds like you have an answer to that. You've brought in other people who can continue to support the brand rather than just you singularly in the business. Is that right?
And that's exactly why I stepped back from writing every single article myself. And it was kind of exhausting after 9 years, 6 days a week of content. I had to pull away from that personality-based aspect. And I still have a little bit of a finger in there. Like, I still write a daily email to the readers, and that helps them to still feel that connection. And it also helped me to introduce people, the new writers, the new editor, by saying, hey, guess what? We've got this great new writer. This person comes from this country and has had this experience. Help me welcome them. And so, I tried to make the readers part of that process of conversion.
Yeah, that's great. Now, was there anything you tried with this business that didn't work out as well over the course of these years?
A couple of things. When I first started making money, that was in about 2014. You know how it is with these businesses. The first year or so, you don't really make much money. You just hang in there because you think one day. After I first started making money, it was almost all coming from Amazon. So my number one mistake was putting all my eggs in one basket. In late 2014, maybe it was early 2015, Amazon changed the percentages that they gave to affiliates from 8.5% to 4%. So suddenly I had this dramatic decrease of income, more than 50% of income. And a lot of other bloggers that were in a similar situation went under because it was such a dramatic overnight change and there was absolutely nothing we could do about it. The other thing is that advertising networks were much the same. I don't like to be dependent on others for what the business has earned. And using those two things to kind of fire me up, I began creating products and I began really diversifying the income. We've got 5 or 6 streams of income now that are all somewhat similar in percentages. And I think that makes the business a lot more viable. If we lose one stream of income, it would be sad, but we're not going to go under because of that.
Yeah, that is super important. And anybody who is listening to this with website experience, particularly affiliates with Amazon Associates, is probably aware of those risks. And I believe Amazon Associates did the commission update again, probably 2 years ago.
Down to like 1% to 2%.
Yeah, so that's still fresh in a lot of people's minds. So it's great to hear that you have diversified your streams considerably as a result of that experience. That's great. Okay, so let's actually talk about that a little bit. So I know we have a 3-site package here. And from what I understand, they work in relation to each other, but also you drive traffic from a few different sources. You just mentioned you have diverse traffic sources. Can you tell me a little bit about that relationship of the sites and just how traffic is generated in general?
The first thing to know about this group of websites is that almost all of our traffic is direct. I send out a daily email. The readers are used to it. At first, I got complaints, but it just kind of weeded out the people that didn't want those emails. We get a lot of traffic through that daily email because people know that I'm telling them what's on the website that day, and they're going to read the email and they're going to click if they're at all interested. And that email also links to several other articles as well, just to optimize my chances of getting them to click through. At the same time, people know that there is a new article up every weekday before 10 a.m. So they're sort of trained to come and see what we're talking about. We end every single article with discussion questions, and that really helps fuel the conversations in the comments section. As well, the three websites really work together. Site number one is our main domain, and this website holds all of our content, earns a bit of money through advertising. This is the one that we want most of the traffic to come to. Site number two is an aggregate in the niche that my websites are part of. And we link to other websites in the community, and we link to our own website and our own products. Site number three is where we house all of our online courses, PDF books, and PDF printables. And that one doesn't get loads and loads of traffic, but that is where the big money comes. We put links to our products in every single article. So there's already a great network built directing people over to the website that is the online store.
Nice. Yeah, when I speak with business owners who are selling a multi-site package, it's not uncommon to be pretty much a one-site package, the one site bringing in all of the traffic and income, but it's cool to see that this three-site package really does have a relationship with each other and the websites assist each other. And then further to that, the fact that you do have such an active email list and email community,
Yes.
that is very powerful. I mean, they talk about email still being king or queen or whatever they say about that. It's still a traffic stream that you own. It's great to see that's something that is so active right now.
Absolutely. And really, if you think about it, it's the same as wanting to have my own products versus wanting to refer everything from Amazon. I believe the term is building on borrowed land. When all of your traffic comes from a social media outlet, you can lose that overnight. And a lot of people have seen that over the past few years.
Yeah, I haven't heard that phrase. I guess I've heard just building on a third-party platform, but I love it. Building on borrowed land.
Yes.
Okay. It sounds like there's a lot going on with the business. Can you describe the amount and the type of work that you do on this business for maintenance?
Most of the time, I only spend a couple of hours per day on the website. And some of this is stuff I just want to do. It's not necessarily stuff I have to do. I like to read everything before it goes up. Sometimes I like to tweak the title because a good title can mean the difference between a viral article and one that just sits there. I make most of the images, but my assistant is also very capable of doing the graphics. I write the daily email. I'm training my assistant to do that. I also write marketing emails, and I work with creators to develop new products for our WooCommerce store. I write articles occasionally. It's not because I have to, it's more because I enjoy it. I would say maybe 4 to 6 articles a month are written by me, but if those articles disappeared, I don't think it would really be a huge deal. I just write them because I like writing them.
Got it. And I'm aware you have some contractors or a team that performs certain tasks within the business. So if a buyer really wanted to, they would probably be able to hire somebody to fill that role of sending out those additional pieces of content. So there isn't reduction in the volume.
Yes, exactly. And my staff is really well trained. I'm training my assistant right now to do a lot of the things that I do so that if the future buyer wants to keep her on to handle the kinds of things that I'm handling right now, it shouldn't be too much a problem.
Okay, great. So let's get into some of the opportunities and the risks with this business. So if you were to keep the business, what are some ways you would try to grow it?
Well, this is something that I've really thought about is developing it in different ways. The first thing I would do is I would monetize it through link building. There are huge opportunities for a site with my domain rating or ranking, I believe it's called.
Yep.
There are huge opportunities for link building in a site like that. And we get emails every single day from people who want to pay us to put links in articles for them. The other thing that I would do is the WooCommerce store. I would probably break the big products down, like the big courses, into just like introductory slices of a course, and then offer them piece by piece in an upsell versus offering them in a monthly subscription that unlocks everything.
That's cool. It's not even that a buyer would need to recreate new pieces of content necessarily for that second point that you mentioned, but just
Right.
kind of,
Break down what's there.
yeah, nice. And what do you think are the biggest risks with this business that a buyer should be aware of?
Well, this niche is strongly tied to current events. It's important to realize that when things are calmer, people visit less. We still have our core audience who visits every single day, but we don't get that big onslaught of people who are panicking because something major and cataclysmic is going on. However, in the world we live in, there's something always right around the corner, whether it's a hurricane or some kind of wartime threat or something that has people worried, or just the economy. So you have to be ready to ride out the lulls and still be consistent and time your launches of products according to current events.
Yep. And I think that kind of holds true with any news centric type of business. I mean, even the news, that there's always some sort of situation or something going on to highlight. So, and certainly right now, it seems like that's kind of the atmosphere. So,
The news is constantly changing. So you are never going to run out of things to write about and ways to market the existing products.
yep, nice. So, a few housekeeping questions to wrap this up then. How much support are you willing to offer a new buyer?
I'm offering 90 days of support to answer questions and do some training. As well, I have 2 to 3 employees who would love to stay on and continue in their current positions. As I mentioned before, I'm in the process of training my assistant to take over some of the things I do right now so she can pick up the reins for the new owner if that's something they would like.
Got it. Great. And just confirming that you would commit to a non compete on this business after it's sold?
Yes, however, it's important for the buyer to know that I do own the physical book rights and the Amazon rights to some of the PDF books, actually to all of the PDF books that are in the online store. So we do have many of those books published in physical format on Amazon, and that does not go along with the sale of the business.
Got it. For any buyer listening, you can see this message on the business listing itself. But if you have further questions, then you can have this discussion with Daisy about what that looks like moving forward.
Right. And it's really important to know that the PDFs they always sell. And the good thing about PDF publishing is that you can change the price. You can drop it down to $1 because it's already there. It already exists. It's not like you're losing money. You can drop it down to $1 just to get somebody into your sales funnel. You can raise the price if you feel like you should make more profit on a product. And we constantly have people going into the WooCommerce store to purchase things. The WooCommerce store is optimized so that related products pop up when they go to buy something. And we sell a lot of inventory that way. So don't let it put you off that we're also selling these products in physical format, because it really, we have discovered, does not take away from the products that we have on the website in PDF.
Great. Well, next question. Are you open to something like an earnout?
Possibly. It would really depend on the situation and the buyer. If it's a buyer that I feel this business is in really good hands and I think we can work together, then yeah, I would be open to at least discussing it.
Got it. Sounds good. And last two questions. Putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why do you think this is a business worth buying?
We're living in crazy times, and preparedness is more popular than ever. People seem to be feeling a lot of urgency about the future. And not only can we help others in this niche, we can also build a stable business that will last through the difficult economy ahead. This isn't the kind of business that relies on people being able to spend extravagant amounts of money on non-necessities. This is the kind of business that is going to help people get through hard times. And that really, really helps with the longevity of it. And being aware of the trends, pricing in a way that's sympathetic to financial constraints, and keeping people engaged, that's the key to success in this industry. And moreover, if you as a buyer have a product that goes along with the preparedness world, you will have an audience loaded with buyers and people who are interested in the things that you sell. And you could do incredibly well just studying existing articles with links to your products. And almost 3,000 articles on the website.
Wow. Certainly seems like my takeaways from that this business is on a solid foundation to start with. And there's a lot of flexibility too, depending on the direction of like economic stability, for example. And this business can still thrive throughout those ups and downs. So yeah, it seems like it's in a good position to grow as well and last.
Yeah, I think it is.
Nice. Well, is there anything you'd like to add that you think I might have missed during the interview, Daisy?
You know what? This was really thorough. I think we covered everything.
Okay. Yeah, me too. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap this up here. So, Daisy, thank you so much for sharing your story and joining us on today's episode. And yeah, I hope your business is purchased in the near future and by the right buyer.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 62993. And if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. And once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.